Great, so welcome back. You're still watching Prime Morning here with us. Good morning to everyone who's just tuned in. We're here till 9 a.m. Just give you a quick run through what's going to be happening this morning on the show. So we have a representative from the National Identification Authority who will be joining us this morning for a Q&A. I'm very sure you've also had challenges one way or the other. There are pressing questions on your mind that you'd want to ask and find out about that haven't gotten your Ghana card, however. What have been your challenges? This will be an opportune time to have that Q&A with our representative from NIA who joins us later on the show as well. But for now, let's jump into our news flash. Now, let's start off with the Daily Graphic newspaper. So, e-levy is not regressive, Ofori-Atta assures public. Now, the finance minister speaking on there, still advocating on buying into Ghanaian interest with regards to the e-levy, but a comprehensive system to get all potential taxpayers to contribute their quota to national development. The full story here, starting off on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. And also block funding to insurgents. Now, the vice president charges West African states as well. Utilization disputes. Now, ENI, Vital, yes, your address plate installed in front of your house or your wall. Let us know. And also, NIA opens registration centers in Accra, Tamale, Kumasi, Stadia. Now, all these stories. And the big one as well, back page, Kotoko, hold hearts to stalemate. We'll bring you more updates in our Prime Sports and as well as highlights from the game. The two warriors of this country, Kumasi, Asante, Kotoko, and Accra Hearts of Oak. An interesting photo I saw on social media was a representation of the two teams with food. One being in Ghana, we say Komike Kena, that is Kenke and fish, and in representing the Ashantis, page of the Daily Graphic newspaper says, why should you eat more chocolate? Cocoa. There's a whole middle page story here. Talking about our production of cocoa, the value we get from it, benefits to the economy, and opens more centers to reduce inconvenience. All these are questions we'll be asking this morning with regards to the Ghana card registration. And that story here as well as on the front page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. We're not returning to classrooms today. It's on page 17. And I'm very sure this is with regards to UTAG. Let me just give you a quick run through on that. Now, the president of UTAG, Professor Solomon Nun, will not be returning to class rooms. That's today, February 21st. Now, it goes on to say he maintained that the association would meet to evaluate the request from Parliament Select Committee on Education to call off the strike. The environment needed to combat money laundering, says Vice President. And that story is picked up from the front page here. Ghanaian Times newspaper. Let's move on to the Daily Guide as well. Daily Guide, mad rush for MPP forms. It's here on page 3. Nima gangster happened inside the township of Nima. Police made arrests. Also, government releases 133 million Ghana cedis to SHS. Councillor Lutrot hot over adultery. That story is on page 8 here. And business recovering from COVID. Professor Samuel Kobina Enim. And these are the Finder, then the Daily Statesman to wrap it up. The Finder newspaper, COVID-19. So 15,174 closed businesses reopened thanks to government's positive impact on the stimulus packages. Also, no explosives on board vehicles captured in video refusing to call off strike. It's also here, a full-page story on page 4 of the Finder newspaper. Now, lastly, let's go to the Daily Statesman. Now, Adan Youth in support of Chiefs electoral camp deals and also firms in steady recovery. Government stimulus packages making positive impacts. Buys forms for MPP aspiring polling station executives. The road to presidency can be very interesting, can be. It's on page 3 here. You might want to read the full story. Alan buys forms for MPP aspiring polling station executives. And these are interesting stories in the Daily Statesman, bringing us to a wrap on. We've seen highlights from the Accra Hearts of Oak Kotoko game, which happened yesterday. Interesting game, I must say. It was a stalemate, as described earlier on by the Daily Graphic, but the game was hotter than you think. Sit back, relax, and get ready.